Hey, everyone. Really happy to see that we have a couple of people here. I don't know if you're here for the first time or you go to our regular Discord practices or you just found this accidentally, whether, live in a recording. My name is Kata, as you can see. Oh, like here. There we go. My name is Kata. I'm a 2D animator and a cleanup artist, and I did I would say a bunch, but a several amount of different animation projects, mainly for commercials and game development. Surprisingly, my skills have been used a lot in different horror games. I don't know what it says about my skills, but it's just what it is. And also, I did a couple of short films, and some of them been to Australia, Lebanon, United States, I think Canada as well, Italy, and yeah, I have a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Very happy to see you here. For those who are here for the first time, this is Animation Club School. Very happy to see you here. If you got to Animation Club School through these uh, in the future streams, as I said, I'm Kata, and I'm gonna be doing these once a month. Actually, if you've been here for a very long while, like more than 2 years, you've probably been through the era of the 5 Minute Friday streams. Those were actually really fun to make. They are a lot less scripted than our usual, very hard prepped workshops where you get a lot of insight. This is going to be a lot more beginner level, a lot more friendly to just try it out on your own. And at the same time, I'm going to be talking a lot more. So if you like my personality, this is going to be something up your alley. Hopefully, y'all do. I'm very sensitive, so don't say that you don't. Hopefully, you can hear me well as well. As you can see, there's like a lot of stuff going on the screen, and the streams look very professional compared to a couple of years ago. I think I can find like an old picture, and you're gonna see half of the old Canva design for the 5 Minute Friday streams. So 5 Minute Friday, it was mainly about practicing animation once a week, doing some kind of exercise, and then sharing the results in the Discord. For a while, it was very fun. But then I realized I'm kind of doing these like small animation exercises, and in like 2023, I didn't have like a lot of finished big pieces I would love to show in my portfolio. So I decided let's try making something more complicated, and I overshot myself and made something very cool, but too complicated and didn't get to finish. Though part of the project is still in my portfolio to this day, and it wasn't very community oriented, so I thought it was very sad that I don't get to include a lot of people in these streams. So I decided to, until I get a better idea what we're gonna do, I think I'm just gonna stop the streams. So now the better idea has finally graced us. And now we're gonna have not one but two streams. They're gonna be happening once a month. First is gonna be Loop De Loop, which is today. I'm gonna be talking a little bit more about it later. And we're also gonna have Community Spotlight. Community Spotlight is that cool stream that's gonna be oriented for the community. So basically, if you have a project, an animation project, which you really wanna do, that you're afraid you're not gonna be committed enough, you're not gonna have enough power and not enough animators to do so, or you really want to find someone to collaborate with, for example, but you don't have a project to work on, or for example, if you're in between animation projects, for example, I had this in between like April and June. I didn't have any animation work because there are no projects around. It's like a kind of a dead season. I would have loved to participate on some kind of a animation project just to help someone out and to maybe put something in my portfolio if it turns out really well. So that's why we've created the community spotlight. You'll be able to find it in the Discord. Basically, it's a little Google form. You put all of your information in about you, about your project, and if the project is going to be selected by the school staff, you'll be invited to the YouTube channel to talk a little bit about it more, and we'll basically give you free advertisement. I also have a little project in the works that hopefully will get selected. But yeah, and of course, I'll be looking for collaborators. So if you want to try your hands out in animation, you can surely be on the lookout. So let's talk about more. Let's talk about more. Let's. No, I said that right. About Loop De Loop. So this is basically an upgraded version of 5 Minute Friday. We're going to do very simple exercises. I wrote a whole year of different exercises we can do. They're seasonal, they're easy, they're like medium, not a lot of hard stuff. Very, very beginner friendly. You'll be able to knock it out of the park on 1 or 2 attempts, definitely. It has some about spacing, about timing, about arcs, and I think even a couple of very basic special effects. So you'll be able to try out your skills in every little sector of animation, basically. And today, let me actually go to the now because I have a studio mode and there's so much stuff to click over. This is a little bit overwhelming, but hopefully we'll get through this and later I'll get to be better and better. Let's go to our screen. I'm so sorry. I've probably been talking for a little while. Let me go back. Wait, I can do this. How about now? It should work. Tell me if it's working. I'm gonna stay here for a little while. Oh, no! Yes! Good. So basically, what I was talking about is that we're gonna do some dots and lines. It's a very, 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 very beginner friendly exercise. All you need is animation software. It could be anything paid or free, even like Blender and a mouse works. If you don't have a Blender and a mouse, you could just take a couple of papers. You can take a little notebook and and you know how you did these little animations when you were in school? You would take your like papers and you would stack them all together, draw like a little stick man, and then just flip all the papers. This is the level of prep you need for this exercise. And in this exercise, we're going to study the foundations of movement, which contain arcs, spacing, and timing. I also have easing in and easing out here, but honestly, this is a subcategory. Hello. Oh, I'm very happy to see so many familiar faces. Very nice. Tell me actually how you're doing. Uh, Everyone in the chat who I see. Ariska, Loopyards, Paulo, Lightning. I'm very happy to see all of you, even if you don't stay for the full thing. Actually, I did this initial tutorial. I don't know if I told this while I was muted or not. In 2023, so 2 years ago. And this was actually the kind of design I had for the 5 Minute Fridays. So as you can see, the Canva design went extinct, and now it looks a lot more professional with a bunch of transitions going on. And yeah, let me go to the next picture. It was, I think, animated before, but I guess not. Let's talk a little bit more about the arcs. Everything is written very well here, so I'm just gonna read what it says and then we're gonna probably discuss it a little. So arcs are the foundation for natural movement. Any natural movement should go through an arc. Arcs can appear anywhere from swaying of the hips to turn of your head to a falling leaf. Even robots move a little bit in arcs. If you want to show something very unnaturally moving, of course, it can follow very jagged and straight arcs, but even the unnatural movement still has a little bit of that arcs in them so the viewer can be able to see it. And of course, that arcs, first of all, they give believability to the movements. And as you can see, it's the little example I had made a couple of years ago. I made it, I think, on ones, and that's why it's so super, super smooth. I'm gonna work today on twos. I'm a little tired. I had meetings since 7 a.m. and I'm gonna work till 7 p.m. So here, as you can see, the arcs going in the movement. And also, if you're very careful and you have a good eye, you can probably see the spacing in between the frames as well. It's gonna load, I promise. There we go, and it's animated this time. So spacing and timing, actually, this is what makes the movement spicy. Spacing is the art of placing your drawings through space in a natural way. Stretch and space out your fast movements and reduce the free space once you want to go slower. So as you can see, the little dot, it makes two very fast movements and two slower ones. And as you can see in the slower ones, the space in between the drawings is either non-existent at all or very, very small. And of course, when it's zooming fast, it's not only becoming like a lot more space in between the drawings, that even the drawings themselves, they like become even bigger. So almost it looks like motion blur, as you can see I just did on the camera. And from spacing and timing and arcs, there's a lot of more subcategories of a lot of things you can add into your movement. And here I have ease in and ease out, which I call easy for some reason, but I don't think there's like a right definition. Whatever you want to call it, it's the same thing. And of course, yep, as I already told, this is just one aspect of using space and timing correctly. In order to perform an action, any object needs some time to generate energy and gain speed. And of course, if the objects need to stop, it needs to lose that energy. And from there, you can also talk a little bit about anticipation and overflow. For example, if an object moves too fast and it needs to stop, it's still going to have a lot of kinetic energy. So, for example, when you're bumping into something, you go like, ooh, and the top of you goes over. That's from all of the energy you have in the movement that's going to carry you forward. From these basic principles, you can experiment with them as much as you can. As you can see, I also experiment a little bit with the size of the dot. You can make something like this, just add a bunch of little dots as well. And as you can see, there's a little like green sheet. I don't know if I told you or I told you, but I was muted. This initial exercise was very, very popular became popular due to Alex Grigg tutorial on like 5 ways to practice animation without like the bouncing balls and stuff. And this was one of them. And yeah, me replicating it. And he advises also to try connecting all of the dots together to just make this crazy little sheet happening. And of course, if you really want to push it further, like I did a couple of years ago, you can make something silly with it. So here I have like a congregation of dogs that believe in dog aliens, and this is their overlord calling them from the mothership, I'm guessing. I think a couple of years ago there's like a meme trending with those little pug puppies that were green and had like antennas from their head, I think Gleep Glorp or something. And they were super, super cute. So I wanted to participate in it a little bit. And yeah, so this is the basics of the stuff we're gonna do today. I'm gonna work in Clip Studio Paint. I already have one dot ready. And here it is. It doesn't change the size. And it has like one zippity zip. As you can see, while it's moving slower, the space in between the frames is a lot smaller. And of course, when it zooms past the screen, it becomes very, very long, and the space in between the frame becomes very, very big. Let's try making a couple of more dots and see what we can come up with. And actually, if you want to, you can open your drawing software and do it with me side by side. And of course, if you want to, I would love to see all of your moving dots in the Discord. Honestly, in any subfolder. You could just drop it into general. Let me make the minimum value smaller so we'll be able to make some huge dots. All right. Let me drink some water. Oh, I don't know if I ever showed you. I got a bunch of cool fish stickers. And now I have a fish with a stash. Let's see who we're gonna make today. Let me create a new animation layer. Here, I want to try something I did closer to the initial tutorial I did. So let's have a big dot. Then I'm gonna go 2 frames, create a new one. No. I want to try moving it very, very slow at the start. Barely. So this is easing in, easing out. Basically going little step by step, and then slowly I give it more and more and more space. Ooh, that's too big. Let's see. Ooh. I'm still having a very rough time with using Clip Studio on my tablet because most of the time I used it with ooh, 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 my iPad. And now I get to do it on the computer. And of course, the iPad is very easy because you can use your fingers to zoom in the picture, zoom out, do like backspace, undos, redos, and stuff like that. And here you have to click everything manually. I do have the little board with the buttons. There's still a limited amount of buttons you can put for easy access. Plus, you have to put them manually. So let's see how this is going. I like it. I want to keep it very small, a little longer. Too big. Okay. Ooh, too big. Yeah, of course. I don't think there's a lot taken. This is more of a test run on how I managed to do everything with all of the new tech involved. Before it was a lot easier to work with. But yeah, I think I already have like a year worth of material, and we are gonna start with very easy stuff. But then I think by around winter time, we're gonna do some snow VFX. We're gonna have a couple of like big snow piles falling down from a roof, snowflakes. We're gonna have a throwing animation where we're gonna talk more about like keys and breakdowns and stuff like that. Here, this is just to have fun. Sometimes you really don't want to think about what you're gonna draw, how it's gonna look like, and this is a very good opportunity just to let loose. Yeah, I was actually surprised about how productive I turned out. That I managed to actually put a whole year worth of like lessons and stuff in a couple of days. It was challenging, granted, but still. Let me put a little. Uh, Here. It's gonna look a little rough. Who cares? We're just here to have fun. And probably let's move these one by one because I'm still not comfortable enough moving them all together. Plus, this is actually not my tablet. I don't know if I ever got to even talk with all of you on Discord about this, but my tablet broke right when I got all of the stuff to work on a project. I open up my software, I open up everything, I make the first stroke, and my tablet dies. And it just set me into a couple day panic. Oh, it like ends a little rough. It was still cool. I like how it zooms towards the camera and back. So while it's looping, I'm gonna tell a little bit about it. I tested everything. Like it sees the screen. Like the computer kind of registered that the screen exists, but the tablet is just dead. No screen, no nothing. I can use it like a normal, tablets when you draw like this and you look up. But it was very inconvenient because I'm of course already not used to. I'm not. I mean, the last time I think I had a screen like that when I was like 15, but that was what 11 years ago. I'm 26, so like I didn't have the time to readjust. I'm not that flexible anymore. So I went to my friend who had this drawing tablet, and she's very good at tech. So we tested it. We thought it was the HDMI cable. It wasn't the HDMI cable. I found out well, and I came back home with the new cable and my tablet and everything. We thought it might have been the HDMI port in my laptop. So I had to look for someone to give me a laptop for a week so I can work on it. But finally, we found out that it was the electricity cord. Basically, something happened to it, maybe deteriorated or something, because I was using this tablet for like 8 years. I'm not really a fan of buying anything new. So if something that old works, it's gonna stay with me until it deteriorates and dies. And it deteriorated and died. So yeah, now I'm currently in the process of fixing my tablet. I need to get a couple of new cords and a new, what do you call them, plug, and I'll be back as new. But yeah, this time I'm working on my friend's. I think it's Huion Canvas 13. and it's actually really, really nice. Actually, I have to be honest, I enjoy it a little bit more than my home tablet. But please don't tell her. She's gonna get sad. So, let me actually. Okay. Maybe, you know what we can do? We can take all of these frames, move it here, and add a little frame right here. I'm gonna play around with the placement because I think it's not really working because it stops and then immediately changes position really abruptly. I can change that like this. There we go. Ooh, like this. Where was it? There we go. Of course, I think everyone who's watching this right now is very initiated in the beauty of animation. But for those who are here for the first time, I mean, like watching this live, finding it, you know how those like recommended videos push you a video with like 200 views, you have no idea what's going to be, and then you find it and it's gold, just like this video. For those who don't know, there are two ways to animate anything, which is straight ahead and pose to pose. Straight ahead is basically this, what we're doing right now. Yeah, I think now works a little bit better. It kind of eases in a bit slower. I don't know if it lags. Sometimes when I look at it in OBS, it lags a little bit, but it looks fine on my monitor. So tell me if it doesn't work. And basically, there's pose to pose. In pose to pose, you pick two most important, like two, three, depending on the type of shot you have. You figure out the poses. You decide, like, I have to wave a hand. So this and this would be the most important pose. Then I'd have one that's called a breakdown, which would be sometimes in the middle, sometimes closer to the start, closer to the end, depending on what kind of movement you want to pull. And then after your main poses and breakdown poses are ready, you put in all of the poses in between that you find necessary. But it's not always you put the breakdown in the middle and then you divide everything equally. Because if you're going to do it that way, we can actually do it here. It's going to look pretty mechanical and you probably wouldn't enjoy the result. Well, it depends. If you want to make a kind of mechanical movement, it's probably going to be something up your alley. Let me read the messages because I'm talking too much. Yeah, it's exactly. It's this rotten luck. Yeah, and tablets, exactly. They're not cheap. And if your tablet, if your tech is working, then why not continue using it? So let's see. Ooh, I have very huge jitter. Okay, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let me shorten it up so we'll be able to see it. I did it on ones. Whatever. Yeah, it's a little too fast to actually grasp why it's a little unappealing. Da, 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 da. Let's move it again. I'm a little sad that Clip Studio doesn't have like a feature like make all of the keyframes like on twos, on ones, and stuff like that. Because that would be really convenient to have in this moment right here. Okay, there we go. As you can see, this kind of blue circle, it lacks a little bit of that spice that the green and purple dots have. It's moving on a very simple arc. There's not a lot of interest happening. It's just one dot robotically moving from one place to another. But if we try using the same amount of frames, but move the spacing a little bit differently, let's start from the first one. We're gonna go, let's move this one up. No, the whole thing. There we go. And then let's pick something, yeah, more dark blue. So we'll go one, then we create a new one. I always forget that I'm working on the same layer. Then we go two. Even, let's make it like this. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's already a lot more, I think, spice. Like, I call it spice, but basically more personality, more character, whatever you want to call it. You can get more visual information from something that has variation in how it moves compared to something that's very, very monotonous. So yeah, this is basically the difference in spacing. You can do the same thing, but with timings as well. By, for example, there are, let me actually talk about this. So you've probably heard about animation going on ones, on twos, and threes, and fours. So what does that mean? Uh, Basically, the 1, 2, 3, 4 is the amount of instances your frame is kept on the screen. Usually, animation goes for 24 images per second. Usually, sometimes if you're feeling really masochistic, you can go 30. Some people do 60, but I've never actually seen it done well. Well, for 2D animation, mostly because there's so many more images you have to keep track of. It just makes it a lot harder. And depending on how long your image stays on the screen, it could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 12, 24. Just like an animation with one frame. That can also work depending on how experimental you're getting. Uh, and when I only started animation, I always thought like the whole animation is either on ones, on twos, on threes, and fours. But in reality, that was not true. Sometimes you have a couple of frames that go for 3 frames, for 4 frames, a couple of frames that go for 2 frames, and then a 2, 3 frames that go 1 frame on ones, basically to show something really, really quick happening. And we could basically try it again with the little dots we have here. Let me remove this because we're still making the composition with all of the little drawings. There we go. Perfect. Let's start a new animation layer and play around with the timing. Mostly because the ones we had before, they're all on twos except for the gap in the beginning. Also, I'm gonna leave you a little tip. If you're doing an animation, leave about 10-15 frames for the first drawing you did. Mainly, it's for the viewer. Except, I mean, if the shot isn't like a compilation of other shots and it has to move in a specific sequence, of course you can do that. But if it's your one personal shot you're doing, like a head turn or something like that, leave about 15 frames just for the viewer to kind of accommodate what they're looking at. It'll give it a more, not polished, but a smooth feeling. So let's do that. Let's start from the bottom. Make it small. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1. Then we have 4 frames just sitting around doing nothing. I think that's 4 frames. I'm not sure because I can't see on the screen. Then we go 2. And then from here, let's build up some movement. Now I'm going to use a couple of frames on 2s. To build up that energy. Probably let's make a little smear. We want that little smear to look uniform. Ooh. And make it super big. Let's see. Yeah. Let me try making a couple of ones. Big ones. I think I should have moved this a little further. There we go. Let's see if it works out. Because I'm just winging it. Nah, let's make this one smaller. Big. Ah. Yeah. Ooh, that'd be a pretty name for the exercise. I'm sad I didn't think about this. Maybe I'll make a version 2 in like a year or so, and I'll call it like a shooting star exercise, a firefly exercise. That'd be really cool, actually. And yeah, let's slow it down. I think I made it too big. Whoop. Now let's take 2 frames. cut this a little. Yeah, we can even try making a little starry sky first. I remember before when I did 5 Minute Fridays, I would have specially prepared materials before the start. I remember the best one was for the wave exercise, mostly because it was my character, Mouse, and it had like a layout, a one frame of this like beautiful, luscious hair, and you had to animate it. I should find it. I probably have it somewhere in the archives. Let's make a new frame. Also, another tip, uh, specifically for Clip Studio Paint users. In TV Paint, it's very easy to set loops and everything so you can easily see your first frame in the onion skin. This could be a feature that I just don't know about Clip Studio Paint, but since I don't know where it is, I usually set the first frame and I put it right outside the timeline, right here. So now I see the first frame, it's lit up as green, so I'll know where to pull everything together. Probably. Let me put a little frame over here so I know how I'll end it up. Okay. Now we're gonna make the thing a little slower, slower. Oh, that was suddenly faster for some reason. Slower, slower, slower. And now I'm gonna go on twos again. Maybe actually, I think I want to make it a little dip and then build up a little more speed. There we go. So we'll be able to really, really ease it out. Let me get a little closer. Ooh, perfect. Right on time, because I had no idea how much frames I had left. There we go, one. And let's make this one a little bigger and a little closer. Same with this one. I didn't mean that to happen. Yep, there we go. Let's see how our little experiment has worked out for us. We can even, you know what we can do? We can move. I can do this. Okay. And let's have all of the, like, the last dip from here. Make it just one frame bigger, longer. 1, 2, 3, and 4 will be even longer. Let's see if it works. Let's go. Ooh, did you see that? Like a bullet. Oh, this genuinely excites me. This what makes me happy to do animation. A lot of people who get into animation, they start from like Disney films and how they get inspired. I got inspired from watching dumb gifs on the internet when I was a kid. Just like stuff like this, it just enchanted me. I thought this was pure magic. So, and you don't have to be really good at drawing or anything to enjoy this kind of magic. So yeah, as you can see, we combined almost two of the principles we had in the previous dots. We played with the size a lot. We played with the speed a lot, but also we were able to have a couple of frames that move really, really fast to show the speed. As you can see over here, we have a couple of frames that are on the screen, only one instance, and then we have a slow kind of ease out with an extra little arc to prep us for the movement again. So yeah, we can try something else. If you have a suggestion, what kind of movement you want to see? Yeah, exactly. It's so mesmerizing. It's so fun to watch. And also teaches you a lot about spacing, timing, how it works, and that you can experiment with basically whatever you want. We can try. Oh, I know what we can try. Oh, oh, oh. It gets me pumped up. Okay, let's do another one. I want to make like a spiral. Let's see if we can do it. It might be a little challenging. So if I do a couple of frames wrong, you didn't see anything. Actually, we all are blind in our left eye. I'm gonna start this one. Oh, a tail blob sway. Do you have to elaborate a little bit more so I'll get the idea right? I think I understand what you're what you're talking about, but let's do one, two. Oh, also a little tip and trick. If you have a dot, a character moving, and is going in one direction or an arc, if you want to change that direction, you need at least 3 frames to do so. So this is going to be a good example. So we're moving this way. 1, 2, 3. Whee! 1, 2, 3. Whee! 1, 2, 3. The wee sounds are absolutely necessary to drawing these little guys. Ooh, and I'm drawing them on what, on 4s? Yeah. Oh, oops. Okay. Let's see this one. There we go. Some of the big zooming dots are now a little bit jump scary. I'm sorry about that. Oh, yes. Actually, the tail exercise, I also have it in my kind of backlog of what we're gonna do. But what we're actually gonna do is a flower field. We're gonna do a bunch of little flowers and grass, and we're gonna put it on a little field, and we'll have like a little meadow by the end. But we can easily do it now. Let's see. Let's go with one more dot. Let's see where we have like some free space where we can experiment with it. I think like right in the middle. We can actually, you know what we can do? Just make it like this. There we go. So I'm gonna talk about the tail movement and how that arc, the swaying you're probably talking about, works, but we can easily do the end of it, for example, with a little dot. So in the core of those swaying movements is usually an arc that looks like the number 8. So you'll see it. Let me give it a shot. No promises I'll do it well from the first try, but we're not here to judge. So let's start from the. Oops. Nope. I accidentally played it. So 1. Then let's go. Let's use 4 frames. And it's gonna go like this. Eesh. Didn't mean for that to happen. 2, 3. Oop. There we go. Too big. Let's see, let's cut it like that. Oh, we have 2 dots accidentally in one place. Now let's draw a little kitty. Oh, this would be, and we're gonna do it like this. And this would be, no, this wouldn't be the starting point of the tail. This would be somewhere like in the middle. So we probably want to put it like this and make the kitty a little bigger, because that's gonna be like a massive monkey tail. Okay, there we go. This is somewhere in the middle of that. So let's see. And now I'm just gonna, oof. Let's see. It's probably gonna be like a big monkey tail regardless. Can probably, I know what we can do. There we go. We're gonna make it this small. It's not gonna be that big of an issue. And okay. Not sure, guys. And let's see. Yeah, it's gonna be definitely bigger in size. Maybe I should make the tail base bigger. Let's see. We can try the further spots first. Yeah, I'm gonna make this bigger so it looks like it's going a little closer to us. Let's see. I'm also doing it a little backwards in terms of how I usually animate tails. Probably gonna... I wish you could hear how this tablet sounds. It's just amazing. It has this matte kind of finish, which makes it like I'm almost drawing on paper. Those like sounds. Very nice. Very relaxing. Now we're gonna start pushing the tail here. Let's see if it's even working. Give me a second. Sorta. We're going somewhere. Somewhere definitely. It's like that saying that they're going places. We're not sure where, like which places, but places. There we go. We're gonna push the base a little more. There we go. We're gonna hide the double dip by giving more strength. Now we're gonna make it bigger, as if it's coming closer. Super close, super big. We can even, you know what we can do? We can actually give a little more force, as if the first segments of the tail are pulling the last one. Okay. Yeah. I think it's going to be more satisfying if we do it that way. Boop. And now we stretch it out. Stretch it out, stretch it out. Okay, let me do it this way. Now we're gonna do, oh, let's say we're gonna do this. And then it's hard to see because I have so many onion skins on. I usually keep just a couple in Clip Studio Paint. Yeah, oops. Let's see. Sorta. It looks pretty realistic. Plus, we made the one side move a little bit differently to the other. What I'd probably change, because basically the wave principle, the one with the swaying grass and the tails, is just two exercises with the dots offset by a thing. So you could probably notice because I'm moving the tail a little bit quirkily when I said that the bottom segment is moving the upper segment first. That's what I meant. Let's have it like this. This one is going to be looking down. This is going to be looking up. Then we're going to have looking up. This one is still looking down. And I'm going to do this. So I would have the base. I think even we can even move this a little bit. We can go down while this goes up. Let's see if we improved it a little. Yeah, I think it looks a little better. It gives it like a smoother finish. Because yeah, basically the wave principle is just gonna be, let's do another animation layer. I think we're gonna do this one. Let me see actually for how long we've been streaming, because I've been talking and talking. I'm having a lot of fun. I can do this for like 3-4 hours, but I still need to work. And I can't stay here for like an indefinite amount of time. An hour. We've been here an hour. This is fine. We can do a couple more. So basically the wave principle, as I told you, is just a couple of dots offset. So let's draw the first one. The first one, yep. We're gonna do it in pink. And let's do same thing we did, just a little more gently. 1, 2, 3, 4. A little more subtle, I said, while making it like this. This, like this, like this. Let me put the first one, so I'll know where I'm going. Here, here. I don't remember, do I move it? Okay, so I have to come down from the bottom. Here, 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 here. We need a little more space. Well, then let's just move. Well, no, that probably would be not good. Let's see, maybe. Oh, no, it's fine, actually. It fits. The only thing we need to do is move this one a little bit. There we go. Let's see. Yep, 1, 2. Now, we're gonna usually right there. Oh, computer froze. Let's see if I'm freezes. Did it do it? Yeah, I think it did. Nice. We're gonna go make this and just color it blue so we'll be able to see the difference between the dots. Now we're gonna move them up. Oh, cancel. Move them up. And let's make a little offset and loop it around as we did. So let me actually move this a little up. Let's see. No, we need to move it the other way because the bottom segment is always going to be further, like it's going to be first moving, then the top, mainly because the top is connected to it. So if I move, for example, the elbow and the wrist, if I move manually the elbow, do you see how the hand follows it? This is basically the same thing, the same principle. So I could try doing it the other way around, but I have no idea what the result will be. Maybe in some of my private experiments. 14. What was that 15? Maybe I need to give it a little more space. There. And here we're gonna put the number 15. Let's see. Yep. Now we just Let me actually make it very low opacity so you'll be able to see it. And let me use the cat layer to give us like an anchor point. Or not. Feeling flimsy today. Okay. Okay. Because I put the different buttons. Okay. Next one. They should be connected to one anchor point lower. Honestly, I'm losing brain power the more we speak. So this is just gonna be as is. And let me put number 14 here. Let's see if we did it. Well, they're working not exactly what I want it to be. We can probably go through the tail and see it, but they probably should be connected more and have a bigger offset. Let me try that again. Okay. We're close. Let's try this. 14, 15. Okay, we can do that. And maybe we can make the bottom arc smaller. We're just gonna do it like this. And I'm determined to make it work. Maybe that's too big of a... How did that go? That definitely went somewhere. Okay. A little blob. Yeah, okay. We can try this. Let's see. Let's put somewhere neutral. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. 5. 6. Poor end of the tail going crazy. Oh, that's right. For some reason I switched them places. Oops. 1, 2. 3. Let's see if this works. I think this is the last frame we're supposed to do. Yeah. Okay. 3, 2, 1. This is what I'm talking about. Close. But it looks kind of cool. It looks a little bit like some kind of 3D simulations. The screen is going a little bit laggy for me. Let's see if I can fix it by the next session. Yeah, basically almost the same thing we did with the cattail. You can actually see how they're pretty similar. I don't know, that was an accident. But yeah, basically 2 places, one in the end of the tail, one somewhere in the middle, where the muscles are pulling on the tail, are gonna be key to making this little tail work. We just needed to, yeah, silly tube man. You can also do a cat's like tail movement through a couple of keys. I think if you let me look, I think I had an animation that basically does that, but I'll need some time to look it up. Because I've been drawing a certain amount of cattails recently, connected or not connected to that mention of a short film I'm making. Oops. Maybe it was somewhere here. If I'll be able to pull it out, I will definitely show it to you. Let me see. No, it was. Nope, that's my textbook. Maybe it was here. Yes, it was here. Let me share it with myself. There we go. Sending it. And let me receive it, and I'll put it on the screen in a second. Yep, I think it's sent successfully. Let's download it. Well, it's certainly downloading. Let's see how much time it's going to take. Because I have it on my iPad where I usually work with Clip Studio Paint. Aha, there it is. Let's put it. I need to stop the animation first. Let's see. Yay! So here I did a little animation of a character. I don't think it was completely finished. It was just a little simple head turn with a little tail flick at the end. And actually, I don't remember if I finished the tail flick, but it is what it is. I gotta flex whenever I can. Yeah, I did. It's easing out a little bit rougher than I wanted. I think I missed a couple of frames. But yeah, you can use all of those basic principles in creating something like this, which is basically a lot of thank you. Those are my anime lions. You can use stuff like spacing, timing with the arc. Also, I'll show you a lot of the places. I started this by doing a couple of keyframes adding the breakdowns and then the in-betweens. So here's the final layer. I think this is just a rough start I did. Yeah, I started with this. So as you can see, there's a lot less. Everything is going at the same time. The head, the paw, even the tail are kind of moving at the same time. So I took a couple of cleaned out frames from here, put them, I think here, here as the breakdown, and then here. And in between them, I put all of the in-betweens. And as you can see, this one goes for 5 frames, then 2, 2, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. This one goes for a long while. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Giving our character a little bit like a time to breathe. They're a little bit squished down, not sure what they're gonna do. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. As a little bit of easing in to the motion, you can see there's not a lot of stuff happening. The main body is moving a little bit, the paw is moving a little bit, the tail is staying still, and the eyes start to squinch a little more. Of course, there are always frames like this that are basically just the main silhouette. I usually do that when I don't have a lot of time. I want to convey the movement and I don't want to skip much on the details. Plus, the eyes in this frame are closed, so the viewer doesn't really miss any of the information. And then it goes on twos, main body stays, and then as the finisher for the movement, there's a little movement. And I'm gonna actually make the tail movement a little more spaced out. Let's see if that's gonna help. Sorta. I would still like to add like a little in between to ease it out completely. So yeah, I don't think there's a lot more stuff we can go through. Thank you for letting me flex a little bit with the cute character I have. Let's go back to our main drawing. Let's keep the cap. Let's remove this. Experiment. And let's return the little kitty. Actually, I have a cool idea how we can finish this off to make it really cute. Now let's bring back all of the lines, and then it's gonna take a little while to load. And there we go. I can probably paint it after the stream. That's gonna be very cute. Let's make it bigger so we can actually see what's happening. And hit play. Ah, we can't see them obviously. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, now we have a little kitty watching a bunch of zooming. I could probably make them into little fireflies or something. So yeah, this was kind of the first test run. Next time there's probably going to be some music in the background once I find some royalty-free stuff I can put so we won't get copyright claimed. And we're going to go through a bunch more interesting stuff. Actually, don't remember what we have next, but it's also something I did a couple of years ago, so it's going to be very familiar to me and probably to some of you as well. So let's kind of return back to the very beginning of what we talked about, dots and lines, or like a firefly, or yeah, a little falling star exercise, which is a much better name, I think, than just dots and lines. So the main foundations of the movement is spacing, timing, and arcs. And from there, you can play with it as much as you want to, as you can see with the little dots we have here. Of course, from spacing and timing, you can ease in and ease out all of the little characters you have. to create more natural movement. You can create some kind of anticipations and overshoots for your character's movement, and basically what gives your character believability, which is a very hard word. I don't think I pronounced it right. Just more natural look to your actions is thinking about your arcs, spacing, and timing. And this is a very simple way to practice it and also to just experience that little magic of animation. So yeah, I think we can roll to a close today. This is a very cute example I think we came up with. Thank you, Loopy Arts, for being such an active chatter, and for all the people here who are watching the stream as well. I really appreciate it. Kind of happy to be back on YouTube and have this kind of more. I wouldn't call it unfiltered. I'm pretty in line what I should do. Maybe just a little less scripted, trying, doing mistakes, and trying again, as we did with the 2 dots and the wave exercise. It was really nice spending time with you here. So, of course, if you like what we do here, you can try making your own version of the exercise, send it over to Discord, go to other practices we have that are usually run at Sundays and Thursdays. We draw film screenshots and figure drawing. And yeah, of course, if you like the school, then be sure to check out our courses because they're going to start very, very soon at the beginning of September. The after class is a 1 month kind of intensive mentorship, and then the normal courses are going to roll in. So you'll be able to do just this in a couple of months, even less, if I'm being honest. Edward is a good teacher. Yeah. Thank you again. Hope you had a great day. So with this, I think this is a good time to roll to close. So thank you for being here with me today. Again, my name is Kata. Whether you're watching this live in a recording, it was a pleasure to have you here. See you next month. Next month. There's just a couple of days before the next month. So bye-bye.
Hi, my name is Edward Kurczewski and I've been working in 2D traditional animation for over 10 years and have contributed to projects like Scavenger's Reign, Primal, Flea, and Tales of Alatreon. Working in animation has been my dream as long as I can remember. I've always wanted to create worlds and bring characters to life. The first challenge I faced was, where do I start? Where I can learn this? I noticed that many others has the same questions. After getting my 2 master degrees in animation and earning experience in professional industry, I've decided to share my knowledge with you. That's why I created AnimationClub.School. Our school is a team of working animators who act like a bridge between students and the industry. We realize that many students struggle to build high professional skills required to secure their job in the industry. So we designed our courses to help you develop an outstanding portfolio. At the moment, we primarily focus on 2D animation. It's where we have the most expertise and it's my personal passion. We want to see more people thrive in this art form. Each course is carefully designed to deliver knowledge while honing practical skills through hands-on tasks. The curriculum builds gradually over several levels, enabling students to master the program step by step. We aim to help students understand complexity of 2D animation, assess difficulty of the tasks realistically, and set achievable goals to their growth. Our primary focus is on developing animation skills to meet industry standard. While drawing skills are essential, we leave their development to each student individually. However, we encourage outside art study and even offer free drawing sessions in our Discord. Currently, we offer over 12 different courses and we continually adding new professional programs to meet industry demands. But that's not all. Here's what else we offer. Weekly videos that dive into different aspects of animation industry, free monthly masterclass live streams with a mentor, short tutorials across all our social media platforms, an active Discord community where you can connect to passionate creatives from around the world. If you like what you've heard so far, follow us on our social media and check out our courses on our website. I can't wait to see what you create with us.